Dr. Michael Greger tells us how to survive a pandemic, surprising ways to survive this one and to avoid the next one. Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. There is one guy whose opinions I pay very, very careful attention to when it comes to everything from nutrition to food safety to public health issues. That's Dr. Michael Greger. He runs a website called nutritionfacts.org. I've played fragments of clips from his very short 2, 3, 4 minute YouTube pieces many times over the years. I have learned so much from Dr. Greger, and I'm constantly promoting his work. He's got a new book out in paperback. It's called How to Survive a Pandemic. The Twitter handle is nutrition_facts, and as I said, the website is nutritionfacts.org. And sure enough, Dr. Michael Greger is here with us. If we can make our phones work. Dr. Greger, welcome back to the program. It's been a while. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. I miss being there in studio.
Yeah, it's great having you with us. So tell us about the relationship between animal-borne diseases generally and COVID-19 and this pandemic that we're experiencing right now.
You know, over the last few decades, hundreds of human pathogens have emerged at a rate unprecedented in human history. You say, wait a second, emerged from where? Mostly from animals. The AIDS virus is blamed on the butchering of primates and the bushmeat trade in Africa. Mad cow disease was because we turned cows into carnivores and cannibals. SARS and COVID-19 have been traced back to the exotic wild animal trade. You know, but our last pandemic, swine flu in 2009, arose not from some backwater wet market in Asia, but was largely made in the USA on pig operations in the United States. Now, thankfully, swine flu only killed about 500,000 people, but the next time, we might not be so lucky.
So most of the diseases that we're struggling with, and I know, some of the older diseases, smallpox, tuberculosis, syphilis, gonorrhea, they all go back to animals as well. I mean, we've had this long-standing relationship with these, is it zoonotic or zoonotic diseases for centuries, for millennia. First of all, why do they spread so efficiently in human populations? And secondly, what human behavior is it that keeps producing these plagues?
Well, the spread is thanks to the fact that people are becoming infectious, contagious before they start showing symptoms, which makes it very difficult to tamp down. But in terms of what we're doing, when we overcrowd thousands of animals in these cramped, filthy football field-sized sheds in these factory farms to lie, beak to beak or snout to snout atop their own waste, it's just a breeding ground for disease. I mean, the sheer number of animals, the overcrowding, the stress crippling our immune systems, the ammonia from the decomposing waste burning their lungs, lack of fresh air, lack of sunlight, put all these factors together. What you really have is kind of a perfect storm environment for the emergence and spread of these so-called super strains of influenza. The bottom line is that it's not worth risking the lives of millions of people for the sake of cheaper chicken.
So how if Americans, by and large, stopped eating animal products, and thus substantially reduced the demand for factory farms and industrial meat operations and bushmeat for that matter. If we were to do that, would that help reduce the probability of future zoonotic, the animal-caused disease epidemics like the one we're experiencing right now, which came out of bats? Number one, would it reduce that? And number two, would Americans or humans survive eating a diet that does not include animal products at all?
In this new age of emerging diseases, we now have billions of feathered and curly-tailed test tubes for viruses to incubate and mutate within, billions more spins at pandemic roulette. So the smaller we can make those numbers, the lower the risk may be. And in terms of can we eat plant-based, in fact, look at it. Not only could we, it would reduce our risk not only of chronic diseases like heart disease, but reduce the underlying risk factors for the current pandemic's severity and death. Obesity, heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. These are the predisposing factors that are increasing people's risk right now, all of which can be controlled or even reversed with a healthy enough plant-based diet and lifestyle.
So if people renounce all animal products, including, cheese, eggs, milk, as well as, flesh foods, you're saying that they get healthier always?
Of course, it depends what you replace it with, right? Some of the worst foods on the planet are technically plant-based. Soda is plant-based. Potato chips are plant-based. But so I encourage people to move towards whole food plant-based diets, centering their diets around the healthiest foods out there: fruits, vegetables, legumes, which are beans, split peas, chickpeas, lentils, whole grains, nuts and seeds, mushrooms, herbs, and spices. Basically, real food that grows out of the ground from fields, not factories. Those are our healthiest choices.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to suggest that becoming a vegan is going to save you from COVID or coronavirus, and I know you're not suggesting that either. We're having this conversation in the context of how do we stop the next pandemic, the next time this kind of thing breaks down or goes nuts. Is there any evidence that diet is associated with risk factors for getting severely ill with COVID-19?
Well, I mean, look, you don't even have to be obese. Just having a BMI of 28 or more, which is about 175 pounds of the average American height, puts you at nearly 6 times the odds of suffering a severe COVID-19 course. And in the United States, the average BMI exceeds 29. So even being skinnier than the average American, you can have so much excess body fat still put you at extremely high risk for suffering a severe course. So, putting in place healthier habits right now protect you in the future against chronic diseases and right now against the infectious disease threat.
Yeah. Tell me about mTOR and how some of these animal products trigger, actions in the body that might not be useful or healthy for us long term.
Yeah. So mTOR is kind of the engine of aging enzyme. In fact, that's the subject of my next book, How Not to Age, which will be out December 22, 2022. mTOR is there are certain amino acids that are concentrated in animal protein, which accelerate the aging process. It can increase our risk of diseases associated with old age, such as cancer and heart disease. And we can reduce our intake of those specific amino acids by shifting over to plant protein, which has as an additional bonus not the baggage associated with protein from animal sources, such as the saturated fat and the cholesterol and the hormones, etc. So since food is a package deal, we can get our nutrients from healthier sources, predominantly from the produce aisle. But plant foods in general, eating at the bottom of the food chain reduces our exposure to industrial pollutants. It has a number of side benefits beyond just the chronic diseases that are laying waste to the American public.
Yeah, we just have 45 seconds left. What's your best advice for Americans to just more broadly stay healthy, in these difficult times?
Well, we should really take this opportunity to, get sufficient sleep, keep active, reduce stress, stay connected, albeit remotely, to friends and family, eating a healthy diet. These are, if you ever want to start a meditation practice or start an exercise program, really clean out the cupboards, let's all take this time to set the healthier habits, which will not only protect us and our families in the future against chronic disease, now against infections, but also prevent future infections as well.
Yeah, view it as an opportunity. Dr. Michael Greger, MD, physician, author, internationally recognized speaker on nutrition, food safety, and public health issues. His new book, How to Survive a Pandemic, nutritionfacts.org, nutrition_facts. The book is available wherever you find fine books. Dr. Greger, thanks so much for being with us today.